Hey guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg, with a look at the new iPad Air smart cover. Now Apple has done something different with the smart cover this time. They used to have polyurethane and leather versions of this cover, but now they just have polyurethane versions at $39.99, and they save the leather versions for the iPad smart case. So this is available, these are now available in new colors. So we now have a salmon pink color, yellow, blue, green, black, and product red, as the version I have here, which is sold exclusively at the Apple Store, either online or in the stores themselves. Now this has also been completely redesigned. It pretty much mimics the smart cover from the iPad minis. So instead of using a metal hinge like we got with the second, third, and fourth generation, so you can see here, we now have a cloth covered hinge, which does a better job protecting the iPad. So on the back you can see that it also has the tri-fold positions. It basically magnetically adheres to the edge of the iPad and quickly snaps off if you don't want it. So you can see you can prop it up for landscape orientation or keyboard orientation. Again, retails for $39. And as always, there are magnets in the cover which work with the magnets in the iPad to wake it up when you lift the cover and put it back to sleep when you close it. Alright, so I'm just going to peel this tab back to free it. Should just be able to push it through to open it. There we go. Alright, so there is our product red smart cover. You can slide this out here. You can see instructions on how to install it, which is pretty basic. So again, this is a polyurethane cover, and there is a product red version of the smart case, and as you can see, it's actually pretty similar in color, even though this is a leather case. This is still a little more orange red versus this more blood red color. So on the inside you have color matched microfiber material for protecting the screen of your iPad, but of course it provides no protection for the back of the iPad. That's where the smart case comes in if you prefer it. So again, this is magnetically attached to the side of the iPad. There are magnets in here as always. Attaches very firmly, feels very strong here. There you go. And closes up and wakes up your iPad when you open it up. Again, puts it to sleep. If you look really closely here, wakes it up, puts it to sleep. There you go. Now the magnet is pretty strong, so all you have to do is bring the cover next to the iPad. It automatically orientates itself, lines up perfectly for you. And you can see it's pretty strong. You don't want to shake it too much, but it hangs on pretty well. Now the old smart cover with the metal hinge was also similar, but wasn't as strong. And of course the iPad was heavier, so as you can see it's more prone to letting go. Now like the iPad mini, we have a three-fold design here versus this four-fold design which overlapped itself. So let me show you what I mean by that. So with the new design you can see that it forms a triangle, but the edge of the case magnetically adheres to the hinge of the smart cover. Now with the old smart cover, this actually overlapped itself. So if I roll it back here, you can see it overlaps itself, so it forms a more secure triangle here, so it's a little more stable. Now if you look at both devices in landscape orientation, you can see that this is not as steeply angled as the old model, and you can see we also have a larger foot here for stability. So this actually makes it a little more stable than the old one, but it has a tendency to want to collapse because it has such a weak magnetic bond to the hinge. But it's not too bad here, so I can tap on it without getting too carried away, and it does pretty fine. Here you can see it's a lot more tipsy, and that comes with the smaller footprint as well as the taller, heavier iPad 4th Gen. Now in typing orientation, the prop is pretty strong here, so you can see you can tap on it and it stays pretty secure. In fact, you're more likely to dislodge the hinge than you are to collapse the triangle. So in conclusion, they've done a nice job improving the smart cover, so we have a much stronger magnetic hinge. It's also much gentler to the iPad because it is fiber or microfiber covered, so it's nice fabric material covering that hinge as opposed to the metal we saw from the last one, which did scratch my iPad, which I wasn't a big fan of. So I think they've done a much nicer job with this, but it's still got the same problem that all smart covers have, and that's the fact it doesn't provide a lot of protection for the back of the iPad, which I do prefer. So the smart case is definitely the case I would prefer, but if you want a lightweight cover that can easily come off so you can use your iPad without a case on it at all, while providing some protection on it, so you have a nice cover here that you can lay down on the table without scratching any surface on it. That's definitely an option for you. It works for me, but I do prefer to travel around with a smart case to provide full protection on it, especially if I accidentally drop this. This smart cover isn't going to do much for me. So that's going to do for me in this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.